Hi everyone, and welcome back to Lavender Cottage Fibre Arts podcast. This is going to be our second knit and chat episode, so it's not like a normal podcast episode where we show all our FOs and whips and things. It's just where we're going to be doing a little bit of knitting, or this time in Pia's case, embroidery. So I guess stitch and
just
chat.
A bit of crafting.
Crafternoon chat or something like that. And just have a bit of a chat about something vaguely related to craft or fibre arts in general. I think the first episode that we uploaded probably about a month ago now, a few people commented that they enjoyed it. So I guess, grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and a project to work on. And have a little knit and chat or stitch and chat with us. Before we get into that though, we do want to acknowledge that we're recording this video on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin nation, and just extend our respect to their elders past, present and emerging, and any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who happen to be watching this video today. And my name is Anna, if you're not familiar with our podcast, and
I'm Pia.
This is Pia, and if it's not obvious, we're twin sisters from Melbourne in Australia.
And if you are a regular on our podcast, you might notice we have a different background for today. We're filming in a different location today. Yes. We're at Anna's house. Instead, we normally do it at mine, but I was coming here anyway to...
Oh, well, maybe we can talk about why you're coming here, because it's kind of related.
Yeah,
to,
a bit sort of. I was thinking, I used to like doing a lot of sort of like paper craft when I was younger, like making sort of like, collage postcards and those like artist trading cards. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
And you, both of us did, but I feel like maybe you did it a bit more than I did a lot of swaps.
Yeah, and making like handmade cards and things like that.
And stuff,
Yeah, and so I was thinking, that'd be fun to try doing some of that again. So I kind of like came here to go through some of the, like in my old bedroom, there's still like a whole pile of like paper crafting supplies. So I kind of was going to go through and have a look and see, I think there's some stuff that I'll be able to use, and then some stuff like we found like some like coloured origami paper and stuff that's more for like kids, I guess. It would be able to just donate that to someone, like potentially the people across the street is like from this house is like a family with, they have 3 daughters.
Yeah, and two of them are primary school age, and I think they are a bit crafty because we have already given them some like craft supplies, and they like made some like cards and stuff out of them for us to thank us for the craft supplies. Like obviously they didn't use all the craft supplies to thank us for giving them craft supplies, but I think Lucy, our neighbour, said that they were really thrilled.
I thought seeing as like because in Australia the main sort of like school, like summer break holidays is coming up, because obviously it's
that's true. Like a lot of people might be looking for stuff
for things
like
to keep
school holiday
to
activities.
occupy their kids during school holidays.
If anyone is from Melbourne and is familiar with like some of the shops in the city, we used to be obsessed with I don't know if it still exists. There was like a shop called Il Papiro that had all these really, really beautiful like Italian paper,
like handmade. I don't know if it's handmade, but like really sort of like fancy paper. And also, do you remember that place called Zeta Florence?
I think that is still
on Brunswick
there.
Street?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is still there.
I shouldn't go there.
No. But I think I have done this a tiny bit in the past, but not in any like specific way. Like with Christmas cards, like sometimes on the front there's like a bit of a design that you can actually then just cut out. Like I guess it's kind of a bit like fussy cutting with quilting, like cut around the shape and then use that as like a gift tag. Like just then you put a hole punch in it, and then you just put a gift, use it as a gift tag. That's a good, but I mean I'm pretty sure everyone knows about that, but like
but I mean I was thinking to maybe do some which I guess that you're giving the gift the card like one more use before it goes into recycling.
I think that's a good idea.
So I was just doing a bit of kind of
a dive into the old craft.
Yeah, and I suppose like a bit of a trip down memory lane is kind of like a bit nostalgic because it was something that I used to like really enjoy. So it was kind of.
Yeah, and I guess it's good to sort of have a bit of a dig through. Like if you're the type of person that has a big stash of stuff that, you know, I'm sure, like I think I definitely would have at certain stages, like bought things that I actually already had but had just forgotten that I had it. Or like, I don't know, things like, I don't know, like black embroidery thread or whatever. You're like, oh, I need some of this, but like,
yeah,
you probably already have like 3 skeins of it, but you just kind of, you know, didn't really realise. But speaking of embroidery thread, I suppose last time I did a knit and chat, we did say what we were working on. We forgot to do that.
Yes,
so
yes.
What are you stitching
I'm working
on
my Starry Nights embroidery.
Yes. So what more do you have to do on this one?
So at the moment, I think I'm just like, I've almost finished the sky.
Oh, but you're just
I'm just doing it around like the stars and the moon, just doing a slightly different blue color to give it like a bit more of a gradient.
Yeah.
And then I also have to like fill in the rest of the cloud with, because I think so far that the cloud is only stitched in one color. Yeah. So I have to stitch in like another color into the cloud to give it more of sort of like a gradient effect. Yeah. And then I'll be working on the sort of village kind of scene at the bottom.
Yeah, and then is that the last area?
Yeah, more or less.
Still got to do. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I guess like just at the end, doing any sort of like final touches that if you feel like something needs a few more stitches or you need to like highlight something, that you can just go back in at the end and do the kind of finishing touches.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and so this is a pattern that I got off Etsy from a seller called Blooming Day Things. So there's a couple of different, I already did the Monet Japanese bridge one.
That one came out really nice.
And I think there's a few others on the Etsy store. And so the pattern you buy is like just a PDF tutorial. And then it lists, I think it lists for like a few different brands of embroidery thread. Like depending on what you have access to, I guess. The like, because all the like thread colors, they're all like numbered, so it will list like I think at the moment I'm using the DMC brand and this is 798. So it tells you like 7 and 8 is like the color to use for this step kind of thing. So
yeah, cool. I am knitting on a pair of socks. So this is the yarn all caked up. I'll just hold it a bit closer so it'll focus. I'll try and cover Pia's head because I think it always wants to focus on her face,
doesn't it?
And so I literally just cast this on, I don't know, half an hour ago. But the yarn is from Maximu, who's an independent dyer based on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. And this is his colourway Pot of Gold. And I think in our last episode, which is where we showed what we bought in Castlemaine, this was one of the skeins that I bought in Castlemaine, so it's called Pot of Gold. And these socks are actually going to be a Christmas present for Pia if I can finish them in time.
Otherwise it will be like a New Year present.
Oh yeah, but I think I can. I mean, what's the date today? Like the 20-something of November. Like there's
26, I think.
Basically a month until Christmas.
Is it 26th or 25th? I can't remember.
26th.
Yeah, 26th is the 26th.
So yeah, I can definitely have these finished by Christmas, barring, I don't know, break my arm or something. But yeah, that's what I'm working on, and I guess that's maybe a good segue to what we thought we might chat about a little bit.
Oh yes, the subject
today.
of gifts.
Yeah,
like handmade gifts.
Gift making, hand making gifts. Because I think it can be, and like of course we'd be interested in like reading other people's like opinions and perspectives. I think it can be a bit of a maybe, I don't know if a sore spot for some people is the right way to say it, but it is a bit of a tricky subject, I guess, to navigate sometimes. Like I know I've definitely heard, and I'm sure like anyone watching this has probably heard of this too, like the term knit worthy, that like certain people are knit worthy and other people aren't. And I don't know, I feel like on one hand, like if you give someone a gift, you have to accept that item now belongs to them,
and you have no control over like how they use it.
What they do with it is up to them. But I think I see the other side of it, that it would be really upsetting to put, potentially even up to like dozens to even 100+ hours into making something for someone, and then they don't seem to
and also
fully appreciate it, kind of thing.
Like if you're using like hand-dyed yarn or something like that you potentially have spent a lot
like
of
making a quilt or something
money
for someone,
on the materials.
And I don't know, like people, I've heard like all sorts of different like perspectives or things that people would say, and I don't really know like what the right one is. Like I know I have read in like Facebook groups and stuff, people who said that they got really upset when they found out that their, you know, whoever the recipient was, whether it was a family member or friend or whatever, donated the item to an op shop, or in Australia we say op shop, I think in the UK they say charity shop, and
like a
thrift shop in the US. And I get that in some ways I feel like that's like, I would be a bit I think it would be hard not to be upset, basically.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I think I would almost rather that it goes to somewhere like that, and then whoever buys it obviously really wants it and likes it, instead of it just sitting in the back of a cupboard for, 20 years
to
or
see
something.
the light of day again, kind of thing.
So I don't know how I would feel if something that I handmade for someone, if they gave it to an op shop. I guess it's the type of thing that you can always say like, I would do blah blah blah, but until you actually in the situation yourself, maybe you don't know.
I suppose it also depends a little bit on like when they give it to the op shop and how long they've had it for. I suppose especially like say if you're making like things for children or whatever, they eventually will grow out of it. And then like you can't really expect someone to just hold on to something forever and ever.
No. Although maybe something like a hand knitted blanket or whatever could be sort of like
a family,
the one
kind of
keepsake
heirloom.
from childhood kind of thing. Like most people, I guess, would have one or two little mementos from their childhood. Like we've got a couple of soft toys that were given to us like by our Oma and things like that, that like obviously I don't play with them anymore, but like I think I would not want to get rid of them even though I don't use them, like but then I don't know if I'm interested to hear like what you think of this, because I was like, I don't know how I would I don't think I would have like the balls or whatever to say this to someone, but I also think I would be a bit affronted if someone said this to me, but also I can kind of see where the person's coming from. This one lady, I think it was in a crochet Facebook group, she said that she basically, when she gifts a hand crocheted item to someone, she says to them, like, if you don't like it, please give it back to me because I'll reclaim the yarn and use it for something else. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think
if you saw your thing in an op shop, would you buy it back?
For like a few dollars.
If you really liked it, why not? Or would you tell the people at the op shop, I actually made this, so can I just
It's
have
mine.
it?
No. Yeah,
if it was only a few dollars, if it was only a few dollars and you really liked it, I would just buy it.
Yeah, that's true. I can see where this woman is coming from, because I think she said she uses mostly hand-dyed skeins. So she's like, if I've put $200 worth of yarn into something and you don't like it, I want to know, because I'll use it for something else. But I don't know, how would you feel if someone said that to you? Like if I said to you, if you hate these socks.
I think I would just feel really awkward, like being put on the spot like that.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, someone, maybe their sort of personality in general, that they're just quite sort of like honest and
that's true.
Maybe a bit sort of abrupt sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
And potentially that is also just like people's like opinions and attitudes towards that is also influenced by their experience as well. Like if they have had the experience of, putting a lot of time and effort and money potentially into a gift that they know didn't get used, or like someone didn't take care of it properly and shrunk it in the wash or something. I think that's upsetting.
I think that's another thing that I've heard people say would make a person not quote unquote knit worthy, would be obviously the first thing would be like, you don't seem to appreciate it very much or whatever, but I think the other one would be like, you like
don't take care of it.
Like I told you that this is hand wash only, and then you still put it in the machine, and then I don't know, like complain to me that it was bad quality because it felted or whatever, like So I don't know. I feel like it's just it's a bit of a tricky subject, and I think we would be interested to hear like other people's. Like, do you would you hand make gifts only for specific people? Would you only hand make things for other people who do some kind of craft? Like, I don't know. I might not. You might not like knit something for a knitter, but like if you know someone who sews, you might knit them something. If you know like they do sewing but they don't knit, but they still
they will still appreciate
the effort and skill as well that goes into like hand making something.
Like I guess for example, like I do quite a bit of ceramics, and I feel like if I gifted like a ceramic item to you, for example, even though you don't do ceramics yourself, like being a sort of artisan or like a crafter
makes me feel a bit fancy.
That you still appreciate that like people put a lot of like time and effort into making something,
and also like years potentially into developing their craft.
Skills.
Like I would say, like I think our dad is like very knit worthy. I've knit him a couple of pairs of socks, and I'm knitting another one for Christmas for him. And his main like craft that he does is like woodworking, so not so much carving, but he does wood turning. He used to do a bit more of making like boxes and chopping boards and stuff, but I think now he's mainly does like turned items. So I think he definitely appreciates the value of
like all the time
handmade,
and I mean I think
and just the fact that like you could not buy this in a shop, like
I mean I think that also would extend to people who give gifts made of like produce from their garden, because you're not just gifting someone a jar of strawberry jam or whatever. It's all of you're gifting also like all the time and effort that you put into like growing the strawberries or whatever.
That's very true. I hadn't really sort of thought about that.
Because like most of these things, if you looked at the amount of time that it takes to make something, an effort, like depending on I suppose how can you put its exact dollar value on an hour or whatever, but I think you would have well and truly exceeded just sort of like the monetary value of that item by making it yourself.
For sure. Like actually quite a lot of people have asked me, I guess because I don't know, people who know me at work and stuff like that have seen that like I'm constantly knitting socks and that kind of thing, like when we have our like weekly seminar or whatever. It's just like a lecture, I just knit socks in that, and they're like, oh, you knit so many socks, you should, sell them. And I said, oh, God, no. Like, I'm not... Because I think to knit a pair of socks in total maybe takes me, I don't know, like 12 to 15 hours. Like,
even if you're only paying yourself $5 an hour, and then the
cost of materials, like that would be almost $100.
For
like,
a pair of socks,
nobody's going to buy a pair of socks for $100. And, like, I don't blame them for thinking that is too expensive. Like, it kind of is. But I guess that sometimes there is also the expectation that when it is like people know it's your hobby, that your labor should be free. Because like, oh, you enjoy
this.
But then I feel like if you enjoy like your 9-to-5 job, like
you don't work there for free.
Like you don't work there for free. And like if I'm going to be knitting stuff, I want to be knitting stuff that I want to make, not stuff that some random person like wants, kind of thing.
That's true.
I don't know. I think it's like it is a difficult thing, and I think it's you sort of do really put yourself out there, putting a lot of time and effort into making something, and I think there is some element of you just have to accept that
the person might not like it,
how people are going to respond to your gift.
They might not like it, they might not use it, they might
I think that's maybe where being like, how like in sort of crafting people talk about being like, for example, knitting, like a process knitter or a product knitter. Like, so a process knitter, like you could knit something and then give it away, like because you knit it for the experience,
for the enjoyment of actually knitting
knitting it. Whereas a product, And I think like you can be a bit of both. Some people, I think I've definitely heard people say like this project was a real product knit, like it was a real pain to make it, but I really, really, really like the finished item. And then with other things, they'd say this was more of a process knit. Like I think particularly with a lot of those, like I've heard a lot of people say about like some of the Stephen West like shawl knit-alongs, the mystery ones, like
that they more just enjoy.
I knew that this was going to be sort of quite a loud and out there garment, and I was likely not to wear it, the finished product, but I learned so much in the process, and I really enjoyed like the sense that like the feeling of knitting along with other people,
and I suppose maybe like the surprise of like not knowing exactly.
So I feel like you can be both about and be a one way or another towards like a different project, for sure. Are you doing any handmade gifts for people this year? Mainly ceramic, like
I've started working on some ceramic, like just little like herb labels.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were saying that in our podcast episode.
I'll do some for Mum, and then one of our friends is got a little bit of a herb garden going as well.
That's good.
So and like I think that's a fairly sort of like practical kind of thing, and I think like achievable for me to sort of finish in the time frame. Because I guess you've got a bit of a deadline with.
And are you going to try and have some cards made, like handmade cards for Christmas this year, or are you going to leave that for?
Oh, I guess I can try. We'll just see.
I was actually thinking we've got a bunch of Christmas fabric, and I was thinking to like sort of hem the edge of it, of a few pieces.
Oh, just for like reusable.
For like reusable gift wrapping.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, just trying to like, I guess, be a little bit more sustainable about it all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to like, not for the sake of being cheap, but just sort of for like, I guess sustainability, not just like buying heaps of junk. Like I don't really want to buy gifts. This year.
Yeah, I think that's the way to
make
go.
all of them.
I don't think we've
more plastic into the
ever
world.
done like a fully handmade Christmas.
I mean, I think last year, like for our parents, I made
That's
like
right,
a pot
you made
plant
them, and some mugs,
mugs, and then in the like pot, like I planted like a plant that I didn't buy. I like grew from like a cutting of a plant that I already had, so it was like 100% like homemade, which
that's really nice. I think that's
which again, like maybe some
very
people
thoughtful gift.
Maybe some people would think it's stingy, but like I think it's actually the opposite of stingy, like because I suppose like, and I mean, I'm not to say that everyone has sort of limitless amounts of money, but I think it's like the one thing that is really limited is just time.
Like
and like
only
you
have
can't
so many
buy
hours
time.
in the day. Like you can, I guess you can spend money on things that save you time, but you can't.
But if you're like gifting
time.
Someone your time, that's like,
Oh, were you going to show as well?
While I was doing the
when
Marie
she was
Kondoing.
digging through the craft
I
supplies. She
found
a whip that's been in hibernation for like a decade, probably.
So I found, I don't know what kind of thread this is. It's kind of like quite thick thread.
You might have to like go to spot. Oh, some of them still have the labels on it, so you can probably have a look.
100% cotton embroidery. What's the difference then between this? It's just, I suppose, the weight of it.
Do you remember where you got that? Probably just like Lincraft or whatever.
Yeah, probably. It was made in France. So is this.
Oh. Well, I mean, no one cares about showing that.
But it's just sort of like this kind of a bit more.
It's like a high twist. It reminds me of like a high twist yarn.
But so I found this like embroidery that I started doing. Of like these little felt kind of decorations.
And we think it was from Better Homes and Gardens,
because I used to love buying the Christmas issue, so that's like the pattern that it's from. Yeah, I used to love buying like the Christmas issue of Better Homes and Gardens magazine and making like all these craft projects from it.
Yeah, we have one. Please don't get upset at me, but we have this one Christmas wreath that Pia made, and it's like fabric wrapped around
like a styrofoam,
a polystyrene like ring, and we call it the Christmas life boy, because it kind of does, because the fabric is red, it kind of looks like a life boy. But I hope you don't think that we're sort of like making fun of you.
I mean, you clearly are, but like it's fine. So yeah, I was kind of like, oh, maybe I should actually like do some more of this and finish it. Seeing as like,
is that the only one that you've started on? Because there's other templates and stuff.
But like these are all the like, I don't know what this other.
These aren't really. Are these Christmas decorations? To me, they're more like spring kind of decorations.
Yeah, but it's like all these different colours of thread. I should try not to get this all tangled up. I don't know what this like weird like gold stuff is. It's like kind of like.
Oh, is that to hang them? Maybe.
I don't know what it's from.
But I guess the only downside is that we haven't found yet the instructions. I guess like you can just pick whatever colour combination you like though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. You could just pick whatever colour combination you like, and also like I think the sort of instructions of how to do it I can just look up. Like I think these is that like French knot things, but I think the rest of it is probably just like a straight stitch.
Is that called satin stitch when you like build up a big area?
I'm not an embroidery expert.
I think I have like a PDF of an embroidery dictionary that I downloaded.
Oh, okay.
On my computer, so I can give you a copy of that if you like.
Embroidery thread. Maybe that's to like sew up the edges.
But I guess you're gonna maybe do that like once you've finished the Starry Nights.
Yeah, I'll finish the Starry Nights. I think because like there's no way I'll get this finished before Christmas.
Yeah, I suppose embroidery.
This is like normal embroidery thread as well.
I guess embroidery is actually like super like time intensive, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it probably depends slightly what kind of embroidery you're doing. Like this embroidery where like literally the entire panel is like covered in stitches.
Yeah.
Is like quite time intensive, but then yeah, I don't know what sort of thread this is. Like what is it called?
Yeah, maybe we'll have to go to like Spotlight and see, like compare all the different options they have. Or I don't know, that DMC, they have a website that you can check out.
Yeah. So that was something that I found, and like when I saw it, I was like, oh, like this brings back memories. Like I remember starting this. But like I didn't even know it was there, so that was kind of funny.
Yeah. I wonder what the Better Homes and Gardens. I'm sure their Christmas magazine is already out for this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I think they usually had like one.
Maybe if we went like to the library,
they might have like
back
old issues.
Yeah, possibly. Or you could like write to.
Yeah, but I mean, it would it would be a back issue from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I guess
like so.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the thing. Like, if you knew what year it was from,
that's
you could
true. Yeah,
maybe find it a bit more easily. But like, if you have no idea what year it's from, I mean, I think I could probably also just Google like felt embroidery Christmas decorations and like find something similar.
Yeah. Cool. Anyways, that's probably a good point to wrap up, because Pia's got to go write a letter to Better Homes and Gardens now.
To get the magazine,
Yeah. But I guess thank you for joining us and knitting on a few rows of your project, or putting a few more stitches on your embroidery, or whatever it was you were doing,
bits of crochet
alongside with us. And I guess our next video after this one will probably be like our standard podcast episode. We're trying to do a podcast and then a knit and chat, just sort of alternating. And when we say knit and chat, obviously we just mean whatever craft we happen to be doing at the time, but probably just not ceramics, because that would be too loud and probably too messy.
It's not that loud, but yeah.
Oh,
and also,
I thought the wheel would have been a bit loud.
Oh no, I have the like Shimpo Whisper something.
Okay.
So it's very quiet.
Okay.
But it's also like I do it outside, so
yeah, probably just a bit messy. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and until our next video, we wish you happy stitching. Bye.